Hi everyone, I'm Mark from Travelshorts. This is my daughter Holly, and welcome to the 11th day of our China adventure. Today we're going to be moving on from Chengdu and going to Beijing, and to get there we're going to take a high-speed train all the way from Chengdu Dong, which is Chengdu East railway station, all the way to Beijing. Travel time on the train should be about 9.5 hours. We just quickly went downstairs then to get breakfast at our hotel. This has been the hotel we've been staying at for the last 10 days. It's called the Crowne Plaza Panda Garden. It's called Panda Garden because just over there, I don't know if you see with the light, that tower, that's the Panda research base here in Chengdu. So it's a really good location to be staying in Chengdu if you're interested in visiting the Panda research base. If you are interested in this hotel, I will leave a link in the description down below to it, or you can scan the QR code on the screen now to go to trip.com's website where you can get a lot more information about it. But what I think we're going to do now is head down to reception, check out, and then get a taxi to the train station. Our train is due to depart today at 10:56. It is currently 20 to 9. I want to get there in good time just to make sure there's no issues or anything like that. So let's head down there now. Time to go, Holly. Can you manage? Do you want me to get it? There we go. Okay, so we've just checked out of the hotel. I'm now ordering us a taxi to take us to the train station. It should be here in 3 minutes' time. So I am using the Alipay app to book this taxi. Within the Alipay app, there's a thing called DiDi, which is like Uber for us back home. I've said I wanted to be picked up here, so it uses GPS to know your location. Then I said I wanted to go to Chengdu Dong train station. Press the button, and there we go. Our taxi should be here in about 3 minutes. So our taxi has arrived. It arrived on time. We put our bags in the boot. We're now on our way to the train station. And using the app, you can actually track where you are, when you are. So it looks like we have got 35 minutes before we get there. In this taxi, we've even got a TV to watch as we drive towards the station. We have arrived at Chengdu East or Chengdu Dong train station. We're going to go inside now. To get in as a foreigner, you need to go to a manual gate and show your passport. They scan that. Passports are linked to your ticket. So when you book your tickets, and I'll tell you more about booking tickets later when we're on the train, you have to give your passport so you got your number. But let's go in and get into the main building. So that is the manual desk. That's where we've got to physically show our passport to get through into the station. So we're now into the main building itself. After we did the manual gates, we then went through the security gates, which are by there. So that's X-ray machines for all bags. We also had a metal detector going over our body. Yeah, I'll do a closer shot of it now so you can see it, just so you know what it's like if you're coming here yourself. So first of all, by the main entrance there, that's where the manual gate is that you scan your passports to get in. You then go through these X-ray machines here. All bags must go through that X-ray machine there. You walk through that metal detector. You then pat it down and then you're in to the main building here. Our train is going to be departing at 10:56. Looking at the board, it only goes up to 10:21 at the moment, and the current time is 9:42. So it's going to be a while before we get a gate, but I know our gate in advance because I booked our train with trip.com. They send you regular updates about the trains, so I know our gate is going to be A16 and A17, but we'll still keep our eye on the board just in case. What I think we're going to go do now is head to the store and buy some snacks for our journey, because it is going to be a 9.5 hour trip. We've got some already in Holly's little rucksack by here, which we got the other day, but it doesn't harm getting more because it is a long journey. Let's head that way, Holly, okay? Okay, there is ours. G970 departing at 10:56, B17. So I think we'll just have a quick look in Family Mart, see if they can get anything for the journey. We have got a selection of snacks for the train now. We're going to head over to our gate, B17. I think the difference between A17 and B17, so like I said, Trip.com said A17. They actually said A17 and B17. I think that is just because the trains are so large and so long. It just depends if you want to go near the front, which is the A's, and near the back, which is the B's. We've still got just over 30 minutes before our train departs, and all these platforms are pretty busy. So there's a large line on our platform at the moment, our gate, A17, but that's for the train before ours. One thing to bear in mind as well as foreigners when we're getting onto the train, to actually get onto the platform yourself, you have to scan your passport again, just like we did going through the main entrance. There's only one manual gate usually on the way into the platform. It's normally manned, so you just it's either on the far left or the far right. So when you're joining the queue to actually get a swarm of people over there, which we will be doing shortly once that train departs, make sure you look where the person is, either on the left or the right. Go in that lane and then they will scan your passport to allow you onto the platform. We have found somewhere to sit down right next to our gate. So there we go. B16 and 17 is just over there. So we can keep an eye out for when the gate actually opens and we'll join the line to go onto the platform. I don't think I mentioned as well when we got off the taxi, because of all the rushing through security, that taxi cost was only 33 yuan, which is about £3.50. That's one thing about China. The taxi fares are just so cheap. So I've just come over to the A16 and 17 gates now. They open them up just before 10 minutes before the train due to depart, so there is a mad rush to get down to the train, find your seats, get your carriage, and there, like I was saying, is the manual ticket check. So find the guy or the lady, and it is them who will scan your passport to allow you onto the platform. So we've just under 30 minutes to go. We're going to head towards our gate, just so we're near the front to make sure we get on our carriage pretty quickly, please, so we've got room for our cases above our head. So this looks like where the manual gate will be on this particular gate. So it's on the left-hand side. Looks like they're about to open the gate. Guy who works here is coming and locking the doors. We're now going to try and find carriage number 5. Oh, it hasn't even arrived on the platform yet. So we have made it onto the train. I just ran quickly to the very front just to film a little bit of what the train looks like. That was after I came in. Put our bags above our heads. Holly's sitting down nice and relaxed now. Going to be departing shortly for a shy of a 9.5-hour journey. We have just departed Chengdu Dong station. In 9.5 hours time we'll be in Beijing. And as you can see, it's a really sunny day today in Chengdu. Now that we've set off and we're on our journey, would you like to have a seat tour to see what it looks like here in second class? So in second class, there is a 2 and a 3 configuration. There is a lot of legroom, as you can see. So look at how much legroom Holly has got. And even me, I've got a lot of legroom. And if I outstretch my arm, I'll literally just about touch the seat in front, and that's actually reclined as well. And Holly, when she outstretches her arms, got a lot of space between her and the seat in front. We have got a net here to put your drink. Holly's put her phone. We've got a sick bag as well on board, just in case, but hopefully we won't need that. And then down here, this is the plug socket. So if we open that,
You can see the plug sockets are down there.
There are no USB points on this particular configuration of train. Now Holly is going to show us what the tray table is like. Comes down there. Quite a big tray table. And you can see that there's actually police officers on board as well who walk up and down. They've got cameras on them. And the first time he actually walked down the carriage, he actually pointed the camera in everybody's faces. So I'm going to assume that might be some sort of facial recognition. Maybe. Because why else would you point the camera literally in everybody's face as you're walking down the carriage? So that is a tour of our seat area. I'll do a complete tour of the train later. I'll walk up, I'll show you the bathroom, see if I can go through first class. I won't be able to go through business class because there is a door between that, from what I remember when we rode business class last time we were in China. But if you are interested in China train travel, I've done a complete video last time we were here about all the different classes of train, how to use them, how to get tickets, etc. That's what the thumbnail looks like of that particular video. It's from our epic China trip in 2024, where we spent 22 days going all through China from Beijing, Shanghai, Xi'an, Chengdu again, Weilin, Yangshuo, and finishing in Hong Kong. We experienced every different class of train, from second class like we are today, first class, business class, which was very, very nice, a sleeper, and also premier class, which isn't on every train. I'll also leave a link down there as well so you can see that. So it's the Travelshorts guide to China trains. This is what our journey is going to be like today. So we've obviously started in Chengdu Dong, Chengdu East. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 stops before we finally get to Beijing West Station tonight at 20 past 8. Now I admit I'm a little bit annoyed at something that's just happened now. So as you saw, I put both our cases above us, and one of my cases was overhanging maybe by about that much, which nothing major. If you look around everywhere in this carriage, nearly all the cases are overhanging, if I'm honest. But the person that worked here came here, pointed at my case, said, "Is it mine?" I said, "Yes." So then they made me put it in the carriage behind, just on the floor in the middle of the corridor. So now I'm going to be really paranoid. Every time we're coming to a stop, I'm going to have to be going, oh, we're coming to a stop now. I'm going to have to be going over there. I know China's a safe country and the chances of anything being stolen is pretty slim, but there's a small chance. And as I can't see my case, and it's just literally in the middle of the corridor, I'm going to head there now just to make sure. So I've got 14 stops of watching my case. So I'm not actually going to be able to relax on this train anymore. I was hoping to sit down and maybe go to sleep, but that's not going to happen anymore. So as you can see, this is where the lady has just put my case. Just right by there. And from somebody that travelled really frequently around Europe on trains, I like to keep my eye on the case wherever I am. Normally I travel with a padlock as well to actually lock it to something. But because we weren't actually planning on going to Beijing in this trip, which I'll tell you about in a second, I haven't brought any of my usual security devices for my cases. Another 13 stops to go. And I know something like that shouldn't bother me, but it's just a bit frustrating. I don't like to moan, but I like to have eyeline on my case at all times. Like I said, they have overhanging cases all the way along here, so why did you single mine out to not actually be above our heads? Very, very frustrated, if I'm honest. Ollie's got some blueberries to eat. Snack along the way. We're coming into another station, which means I'm going to be heading back to the back of the carriage again. Thank you, Holly. So I did just mention while I was waiting with my case then that we actually didn't plan to come to Beijing at all on this trip. If you've been following our journeys from the very beginning, you'll know that we were actually invited to China by a company called Panda, who specialize in bespoke small group family tours to China. We've now finished that tour, but I would still happily recommend them. They're a really good tour group to actually go with. Both Vincent and Holly, not this Holly, from Pandaville did an extremely good job. This video today isn't sponsored by them. In fact, we were actually due to fly back home from Chengdu to London Heathrow today, but a few days ago, after me and Holly were talking, we really wanted to go to Universal Studios Beijing. So I phoned up Air China to see if we could rearrange our flights home, which eventually we did. It was a long drawn-out process, if I'm honest. I had to phone them, and that's phoning the UK. Then I was on hold for a long, long time. Then I finally got to speak to somebody. I inquired about what would the price be to rearrange our flights. They said they'll have to speak to a different department and they would call me back within 2 hours. So that's a nice view. Hold on, I'll continue my story in a second. Look at that nice little lake with cityscape there. And also some greenhouses. Anyway, they called me back around 2 hours later and told me to rearrange our flights. Bear in mind, we already had flights from Chengdu to London Heathrow booked. So the additional fee just to fly back on a different date from Beijing to London Heathrow. So that was due. So today is Thursday, the 9th of April, just for reference. We're going to be flying back on Monday, the 13th of April, with £666 each, which is a lot. And I mean, a lot of money just to add on top of what was already paid for the Chengdu to London Heathrow flight. In fact, those flights are actually a lot more expensive than what it would cost usually to fly from London Heathrow to Beijing return. But I think it's just because of the very short notice. Plus, also Air China fly over Russia, which means that if you're aware, the current situation at the moment in the Middle East, lots of flights are being delayed if you're going the regular route via the Middle East, such as Abu Dhabi or Dubai. So I think Air China have kind of cornered the market at the moment for direct flights to China from Europe without flying over a war zone, in essence. So yeah, I decided to agree to that. So £666 each, which was over £1,300 for us to just fly back at a later date. I then gave them my credit card details, but they couldn't do the credit card over the phone, and they said, we'll know shortly. So I gave them the credit card details. Maybe about half an hour to an hour after that, I had a message from my credit card provider saying, I've had a transaction declined from China. That was a text message. So I said that was one of mine. I'll click yes to the text message. The credit card company then called me just saying, we suspect some fraud on your card. I said, no, it's not fraud at all. It's, I'm trying to buy tickets from Air China in China. So I said, okay, no problem. They released that hold on my card. About half an hour after that, Air China called me back saying they couldn't do the transaction because it was declined. So I said, oh yeah, no problem. I spoke to my credit card company. Could you try again? And then about 30 minutes later, the transaction went through on the same card and they emailed us out our ticket. So that was a bit of a long-winded story to let you know that instead of just having 10 days in Chengdu, we're now going to have an additional 4 days in Beijing where we're going to be exploring Universal Studios and the centre of Beijing, like the Forbidden City, Summer Palace, and more shopping for Holly. And the good thing about these trains as well, you can actually see up there how fast we're going. So we're currently going 222 kilometers per hour. And as I mentioned, this video itself isn't sponsored by Pandaville, but I'm still really happy to recommend them. So I will leave a link in the description down below, or you can scan the QR code on the screen here to go to their website to find out more information about the group tours that they do to China. They specialize in very small bespoke group tours for families. If you want to contact them as well, there's a QR code on the screen here that will take you to their WhatsApp. You can drop them a message via WhatsApp and they'll get back to you as soon as possible. There's even a discount code there as well if you are interested in going with Pandaville. If you use Travelshorts, you'll have a discount off your trip, and all the T's and C's, terms and conditions, and information about that will be down in the description below. Like I said, this video today isn't sponsored by them, but I am happy to recommend them to any families that want to come out to China and experience what they have to offer. Quite an interesting old looking train over there as well. Looks like some old carriages from before they upgraded their system to a high-speed rail network. I have just scanned that QR code which appears on the seat there in the WeChat app. Last time we were in China, we weren't able to do that because we needed a Chinese phone number to see. But it has loaded up information about this train. It even says what seat we're in. So car 5, and because I scanned it on my side, seat 7F. So this is what you use to actually order takeaway as well to your seat. So if you order it ahead, it'll be waiting for you at the next stop, and then the train employees will bring it directly to your seat. I'm going to see if that's going to work, because maybe we could order some takeaway to our seat. Like I said, last time we were on these trains a couple of years ago, you did need a Chinese phone number to order takeaway. So I'm going to see now if we're actually able to do it, and I'll let you know. There are so many tunnels on this line that every time I go into the app to try and see if I'm able to order food, the data connection on my phone cuts out because we're going through a very, very long tunnel, and then we go back outside, and then we go back in another tunnel again. I'm sure shortly at some point there'd be a nice clear spread of open land where I can use my phone properly and see if I'm able to order some takeaway. If you are wondering how I get data on our phones while we are traveling around China, I use an eSIM from a company called Airalo. I've been using them consistently on all our foreign travel since 2023. I've found them always flawless. I've never had any issues with them whatsoever. If you are interested in Airalo eSIMs, I will leave a link in the description down below to them, or you can scan the QR code on the screen here. I'm not sponsored by them at all. I just highly recommend them because I've never had any problems. And when you do click either that link or the link down there, if you use this promo code, you'll actually get $3 off your first purchase. So I've just come to the bathroom to show you guys what it looks like. I don't need to use it. It smells a bit in here as well at the moment. So this is the Western toilet one. There's also a squat toilet next door. There was somebody in there, so I couldn't go in to show you that one. So I'll show you what this one's like. We have got the toilet there, sink there, some toilet roll, a bin, and a big mirror here. Also looks like it's got some toilet seat cover protectors as well there, so make sure you've got a clean seat before you sit down. That's it, a quick tour of this Western style toilet here on this bullet train. When I was just walking back from the bathroom to my seat then after just filming in the bathroom, there's a member of the train staff fiddling about with my suitcase. I'm not really happy about that, so now I don't know what I'm going to do, because I have to leave it there, because if I put it back above our heads, somebody's going to come over and say, no, put it back there. But then now it's there where that other person left it, and you've got other members of staff fiddling about with it. Like, I know, as I said earlier, China is a very safe country, and the chances of it going missing are very, very slim, but there's always that very small chance. And I don't know what that lady was doing fiddling about with the case either, because there was nowhere else to put it. It was just good job I just happened to be walking past then, because what if I turned around in 10 minutes time and it wasn't there anymore? Anyway, we've got some really nice scenery outside. I'm going to continue looking outside. Oh, and for reference as well, I was unable to order any takeaway to the seat. I don't know if it was something I was doing wrong or it just wouldn't allow us. But yeah, no takeaway to the seat. But we have brought lots of snacks. Got some noodles for Holly, got some onigiri and some sandwiches for me. So we're not exactly going to go hungry. Looks like we're going just slightly faster now at 239 kilometers per hour. Oh, this is one of the things I've got for my lunch today. It's an onigiri. I'm not actually sure what flavor it is, but I guess we'll find out in a minute when I start eating it. And we got this from Family Mart just as we arrived at the train station earlier. Here we go. Smells fishy. It actually tastes like salmon paste. kind of thing you had spread on sandwiches when you were a kid. Now, it does look like it spends approximately 3 minutes at each train station that it stops at. But looking at the schedule later on when we're stopping at Xi'an North, which I guess is one of the main stations on this route, it does stay there for approximately 11 minutes. These are the sandwiches I got myself from the Family Mart for my lunch. It looks like ham and cheese, or it might be ham and egg. I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a look and see what it tastes like. I guess the first one we've got to do is open the packet. That's simple enough. Oh, okay. It's like a club sandwich situation where they're all four are together. Because look, I'm just taking two off, but they still cheese and ham in between them all, so I've got to eat all four in one go. How's that possible? It's like a Scooby-Doo sandwich. So look at that, it's like Scooby-Doo. Look at that. I'm mistaken. It's just one very, very large sandwich. Holly's just telling me to just go ahead and bite it. I've also got an audience there by the look of it watching me what I'm doing. Okay, so it is cheese. So it's ham, cheese, mayonnaise, and lettuce. Tastes all right. Would have liked it to be in half, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Okay, I carry on eating this. I don't think you want to see me eating this close up either, so see you when I finished. I just went to throw my rubbish in the bin, and the squat toilet was available, so I'll show you what that looks like now. As you can hear, there's a safety message, well, not safety message, a warning message saying don't smoke in the toilet. Anyway, here's the squat toilet so you can see what it looks like. There you go. That's the squat toilet. And you got a sink. There we are. Can you believe that somebody just tried, or they did, put their dirty feet in their dirty socks right to there by Holly's arms? They weren't there for long. Oh, they even kicked Holly's arm. They kicked Holly's arm with their dirty socks, trying to get Holly's arm to move. Their feet weren't there for very long, let me tell you that. We are now coming into Xi'an North train station. We were in Xi'an 2 years ago and we really enjoyed it here. I think we spent 3 days or maybe even 4 days in Xi'an. A really highly recommended destination if you are coming to China. Obviously, it is famous for its terracotta warriors that were discovered back in 1974. One of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the last century. It also looks like there's a lot of people getting off at this station as well. So we do have a 10-minute stop here at Xi'an. So I'm just going to pop to the end of the carriage, take another photograph of the train. It's a bit clearer here than it was back in Chengdu. That's enough. I don't want to miss my train, even though there's another 7 minutes to go. You never know. While we are stopped here at Xi'an Station, it might be a good chance to tell you that I created a travel guide to China. It contains everywhere we've been, not just on this trip, but on our previous trip, where we spent 22 days traveling around China. It's got our accommodation, the activities we did, the attractions we visited, tips and tricks we learned along the way. It's a totally 100% free download. I'll leave a link in the description down below, or you can scan the QR code on the screen here to download it instantly. And unlike most people on YouTube, I never ask you for anything, so it is 100% free. I won't even ask you for your email address. We are just leaving Xi'an Station. We've got 7 more stations to go before arriving in Beijing. Current time is 2:57 and still due to arrive in Beijing at 8:20. Wow, this is the first time I've seen us going over 300 kilometers per hour. We're currently going 306. It is now 3:25 and we are now in Xi'an North Station. This is Chengdu Dong Station. We're here for about 15 minutes before we keep going on towards Beijing. And if you are interested as well, in between the carriages, here and here, there is a sink you can use. And also a hot water dispenser. We are leaving Chengdu East Station. We have just got 3 more stops to go before we arrive in Beijing. Current time is 5:25. We have just got 1 more station to go, and then after that is Beijing. 1 hour, 20 minutes left. This is Baoding, our penultimate stop before we arrive into Beijing in just 50 minutes time. Been a long day, but we're in the closing stretch now. Not long to go. Okay, Ollie. Not long to go. Next stop, Beijing. We're about 15 minutes out from Beijing, so I might use this as an opportunity to promote my Instagram channel. These videos normally take me weeks or even months to edit and upload to YouTube, so if you want to follow where we are, when we are, you can follow us on Instagram at Travelshorts. We post live story updates from wherever we are around the world. Yeah, so if you do want to see where we are, when we are, follow us on Instagram at Travelshorts. Promotion over. We are arriving at Beijing West Station. We have made it to Beijing after 9.5 hours on that train. And I have to admit, I think we're both pretty tired now. What we're going to do, leave the station, find the metro or the subway, and get on a train, another train, which is going to take 59 minutes all the way towards Universal Studios Beijing. Woman behind us then literally almost pushed Holly over. She pushed her to try and get in this line. Ooh, very frustrating. So we are now looking for the subway, and it looks like it's going both ways, both 1 and 2. So I guess we can go over either way. The subway is being directed both left and right. So let's go right. Hopefully the correct subway line is in this direction. So you can see there, we're on subway line number 7, which is in that direction over there. And we've just got to follow this all the way to the subway. So 2 years ago, when we were in Beijing, we weren't able to use these self-service machines because you had to have a Chinese ID. Everywhere else in China, there was no issues at all. But in Beijing, it did not work. So let's see if it works this time, shall we? So far, so good. It looks like it's actually going to work. Because that was the only frustrating part about the subway system in Beijing last time, is we couldn't go to a self-service machine and we had to go to a manned counter every time. So let's have a look if this is working. Oh, here we go. It looks like it might be working. It's just thinking about it. It's just very, very slow at the moment. Okay, let's translate that to see what it's saying. Pay now. Oh, excellent. So this is only going to be 14 yuan. for the both of us. And that has worked. Excellent. We have got 2 tickets. We've got a receipt. Now let's head down to the subway and get on our train all the way to our hotel. To Universal Resort, line 7, this way. These are the tickets if you're interested. I don't think we want to actually get in this one with our cases, so we're just going to wait for the next one. And this is the route we're going to be taking. That's where we are now, Beijing West Station. We've got to go all the way down here. And we're getting off at Qun Fang, which is just a couple of stops from Universal Resort. Because although our hotel is classed as a Universal Studios hotel, it is a couple of stops away from the actual Universal Studios itself. We have made it onto the subway train. This one is a lot quieter than our last one, so I'm very glad I just waited the 5 minutes to get this one rather than try and barge on that previous train. Like I said, it's going to be a 59-minute journey from here to the stop that our hotel is on. Our hotel is Qun Fang, which is 2 stops away from Universal Studios Beijing. And as I mentioned when we were getting the ticket from the self-service machine upstairs, 2 years ago, we couldn't do that in Beijing, but we could do that in every other city we were in. It was really frustrating having to go to a desk, show the translation of the station that we wanted to go to, hold it up to the man, and then he would give us our tickets. I am aware we could actually do that via Alipay as well. You can have a Beijing Metro card via Alipay, but it's only valid for one person. As I'm traveling with Holly, and she obviously doesn't have Alipay on her phone, we were unable to do that this time. So the fact we can get that from the machine made me really happy. I don't think I actually told you how I got our tickets for that train we were just on, the Chengdu to Beijing one. I booked them via trip.com. Same as when I was in China last time, I used trip.com for train tickets, as well as amongst other things like hotels, attractions, etc. But if you are interested in getting China train tickets, I will leave a link in the description down below, or you can scan the QR code here to go directly to the China train ticket section on trip.com. The subways here are really easy to navigate as well, even if you don't speak Chinese. They announce the stops in English, and just above the door, they actually show where you are. So you can see up there where it's flashing, that's going to be the next stop. All the ones which are no longer lit, that's where we've been so far. All the ones that are lit means that we still need to stop at those stations. We're going to be getting off about by there somewhere. We've made it to our stop, Qun Fang. According to Apple Maps, it should be a 6-minute walk to our hotel. We want to exit via exit A in that direction. So we've just turned right out of exit A. It's a straight road, and then we turn right again, and then we should be right by our hotel. And we've just passed some kids dressed as Harry Potter, so we know where they went today. And there is our hotel, the Park Inn by Radisson. Guess we go in by there. We have just checked in. We are room 8226. Would you like to have a quick room tour? Of course you would. This is what greets you when you enter the room. Looks very nice on first impressions. I think we're going to turn left first. So this is the bathroom. Toilet there. Vanity area here. What have we got there? Body lotion, hand sanitizer. A couple of glasses. Towels down there. And a hairdryer in there. We've also got a mirror there. Hello. And obviously a big mirror there. Hello again. Over here, we've got a very large walk-in shower. Look at that. It's very impressive. And we have got shower gel, conditioner, and shampoo. And just opposite the bathroom, we have got the wardrobe area by there. Inside here, we've got 2 robes. Underneath, we've got a scales, some slippers in there, and a park-in laundry bag. And over by here, we have got some, 4 bottles of complimentary water, a kettle, some tea, some drip coffee. Under there, we've got a refrigerator. Then this is the main room itself. It's a double queen room, so we've got 2 queen beds. Next to the beds, we have a plug socket, 2 USBs, and all the switches to control the lights. TV on the wall there, a holly on a desk there. So there is the desk area. Nice little desk, actually. Got a chaise lounge there to lie on if you want to. And then the view out the room is just onto the road. It's a bit dark now, so you can't really see, but there is a view onto the road. One last look of the room from this direction. And if you're interested to know where I booked it from, I guess if you're a regular viewer, you know where I booked this from. It was from trip.com. I got a really good deal. I'm going to say 98% of all the hotels I ever book are via trip.com. If you are interested in this hotel, I will leave a link to it in the description down below, and you can also scan the QR code on the screen here, which will take you directly to the trip.com's website for this hotel. And I'll put down how much I've spent down here for 4 nights. It was very last minute. We only booked this hotel. In fact, we only booked the Beijing section of this trip 3 days ago. So prices are higher than they should be normally if you book well in advance. But that's the room tour. What I think we're going to do now, we're going to pop out really quickly, because on the way here, we did go past some shop. We haven't really eaten very much today, as you well know. We're going to pop that shop now, see if they've got anything. I did look what was in the local area. There is actually a McDonald's about a 10-minute walk away in that direction behind us, but it closes at 10 o'clock. It is now 4 minutes past 10. So, Holly, you ready to go down? But okay, we'll see you there in a moment. We're heading down, and we've got something in here with us. It's one of those robotic delivery robots, so it's obviously just gone upstairs somewhere to deliver some fast food to somebody, and we'll let him go out the lift first. Here we go. We also just went into the laundry room on the way down as well, because it's on our floor, because like I said, we actually plan to be home tonight, so we didn't bring enough stuff to last an additional 4 days, so we want to just put some things in the laundry. There's 4 washing machines in there. It looks like it's complimentary, but all 4 of them are being used at the moment, and there was just a lady in there with just a robe, and I don't think anything else on, was it? Because when we came in, she looked disgusted that we're in there with her in a public laundry, and started doing that with her robe. Let's go this way, Hov. So when we go back in, I will go and have a look in there again to see if it is one of those washing machines that become empty. Fingers crossed anyway. Look at all the different types of noodles. So this is hairy blood flavour. Do you want some hairy blood flavoured noodles? I think I'm going to go for that Chinese Mountain Dew. I think that's a Mountain Dew, isn't it? Doing well, Holly, carrying all that. So we've got our snacks, got some noodles, some biscuits, all that good stuff, a Mountain Dew, some crisps. We're very healthy, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Is it supper?
The next door is our hotel, huh? We have put the kettle on. We're going to make ourselves some noodles for our evening meal before heading to bed, which means we're going to end this video here. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. It's really appreciated. If you're new here, my name's Mark, along with my daughter Holly. We make travel and theme park videos from around the world. And if you've enjoyed this video, please think about liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell button. See you in the next one. Bye. Just one really quick update to the end of this video. You might have remembered we went into the laundry before we went into the shop. Well, once we got back, we checked in there and there was one washing machine free. So I loaded it up, put the washing powder in, set it on for a quick wash of 40 minutes, put the timer on my phone to 35 minutes. So I would go back there with 5 minutes left. Alarm went off on my phone, went over there. All our washing would been dumped soaking wet on the floor. And somebody else's clothes were in the washing machine that I had my clothes in. So they just decided, I know, it doesn't matter that somebody else's clothes is actually in the middle of a wash cycle. We dump all that out, dump it on the floor and put our clothes in there. So as you can imagine, I was a little bit annoyed at that. So it might be petty, but I just opened up the washing machine, dumped all their clothes on the floor and then brought mine back to the room. Right. Never, never, never touch other people's stuff. That's the rule I've always gone by. You don't touch other people's things. It's just one of those things you do not do. You can tell I'm a little bit annoyed. What I've just done now is I've just washed 3 days worth of stuff in the sink in our room and put it to dry on the washing line in the shower. Anyway, sorry to rant, but that's really annoying. You do not touch other people's stuff, especially in the middle of a wash cycle. Like, even if you went there and the cycle had finished, you still leave stuff in there because you don't go rooting around grabbing other people's underpants and socks and chucking them on the floor. Just one of those things you don't do. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow where we're going to Universal Studios Beijing. Next time on Travelshorts China Adventure.